What's up guys, Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and it's time to cover the errata that was recently released for the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide. I'm lumping it together because there's not a lot and this won't take long to go through. At least that's what I'm saying, so let's jump in. For the Monster Manual, you can see some updates were made to the Adult Blue Dracolich, and it kind of lists what they were. Everything was sort of lower than it needed to be. Charisma save, all of its saving throws it had were lower. Perception, stealth, passive perception, and its to hit were all lower than they needed to be. The Black Bear and Brown Bear update that we saw in the player's handbook persists to here. The Demi-Lich, it still has 80 hit points, but it listed its hit dice as 20 d4. It's actually 32 d4. That's not a huge deal. Freedy, under their spellcasting, it says 3 times per day in large, reduce, and tongues. It should be 3 times per day each, which is a significant distinguishing factor. For Gith, here it says the Red Dragon Riders, Gith returned. It's supposed to be Black Gith returned. It's just a lore piece. It's not a big deal. Grey Slod, its perception should have been higher. The Grell, its beak had a targeting one creature. It should just be a target, because it means you couldn't attack objects with the beak. Hook Horror. This is one that I actually wanted to look up to see how did this one make it by, and I forgot to flip to this page ahead of time. So Hook Horror. Holy shit, yeah. Blind sight 60 feet, dark vision 10 feet is what it says in the Monster Manual. That's supposed to be 120 feet. It's 110 feet of difference. That's a little bit important to have. For the Lich, Disrupt Life was a living creature. It's now a non-undead creature, and its Arcana skill was a little bit low. Lycanthropes, about inflicting people, it now says a non-lycanthrope humanoid. The Priest NPC had slow speed. The Bite and Tail Stinger of the Purple Worm was 5 lower than it needed to be. So it was +9, it needs to be +14. That's a big jump. Now Purple Worms are that much more threatening. Revenant doesn't animate any corpse, it just animates a humanoid corpse for the rejuvenation piece. 3 Keen, the poison target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. And the Werewolf here says the Werewolf makes 2 attacks, 2 with its spear in humanoid form, or 1 with its bite, and 1 with its claws in hybrid form. So that's it for the Monster Manual. Now let's move to the DMG. Alright, so the first one here is Scrolls, and I never really paid too much attention to this, but if you follow rules as written directly in the book, this is huge. So Scrolls, in the second paragraph, requires using an action, as now requires the user. So basically, a scroll is a consumable magic item. Whatever the nature of the magic contained in the scroll, unleashing the magic requires using an action to read the scroll. When its magic has been invoked, the scroll can't be used again, its words fade or it crumbles into dust. So now it reads, whatever the nature of the magic contained in the scroll, unleashing the magic requires the user to read the scroll. Because the way that's written, if you were casting a bonus action spell off a scroll, it still took an action to read. So they clarified that, so that's big. In the second sentence under spells, lowest possible spell level is now lowest possible spell and caster level. Instruments of the Bard, I believe the only thing that changed for that was the fact that it said it needs to have somatic or material components, because basically using an instrument of the Bard allows you to provide disadvantage on things that would be charming to people, and I believe they just added that clarifier. Yep, this effect applies whether you use the instrument as the source of the spell or the spellcasting focus. You can play the instrument while casting a spell, causes any of its targets to become charmed in a failed save, and then it says this effect implies to only verb or somatic and material components, if the spell is somatic or material components. Rod of Lordly Might now says you get to pick the type of sword, long sword, great sword, short sword. And that's it. So that's it, guys. Like I said, this was going to be a much shorter video, the Errata and the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide. Some of it, I feel like a lot of people, I don't feel like these were things that were too easily messed up, but if you had a hardcore stickler who follows rules as written, casting a bonus action spell with a spell scroll would have taken you an action to do so. So would that have taken you, would the scroll have just activated on the action? This is what it reads like, rather than taking it, reading it as an action, and then casting it as a bonus action. So let me know what you guys think. I don't think these are nearly as impactful as the updates in the player's handbook, but I'm curious what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you next time.